As pelvic health therapist, working in this space can be challenging. So much heaviness is carried in the pelvic region that can come up in our sessions, and not knowing what to do about it can lead to burnout. So, how do we avoid burnout so we can continue doing this amazing work? In today's episode, I talk about approaching the pelvic health therapy through a different lens that does not leave you exhausted at the end of your day. Listen in so you can avoid burnout too.
Hello, friends. This is Lynn Schulte, and you are listening to the Birth Healing Summit podcast. We are here for meaningful conversations that will transform the way you work with pregnant and postpartum clients. Whether it is a new perspective, tool, or technique, you'll be able to implement it into your practice today. I invite you to sit back, listen with an open mind, and grab the golden nugget today's guest has to offer. Now let's get started.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode. And today I wanted to talk a bit about how we can avoid burnout in our profession. And this comes from listening to an episode on the Pelvic PT Rising podcast where Nicole was interviewing Taryn Hullum. I love Taryn and I love Nicole and everything that they are both doing in the world. And but I do have to say that I do not agree with some of what Taryn shared in that podcast. And so I wanted to share my thoughts on how we really are meant to show up in this PT profession. Because Taryn and Nicole were talking about burnout and how to take care of ourselves, and that Taryn says burnout is normal, and I'm like, okay, it might be normal, but it doesn't have to be. Okay, there are things that we can do to avoid burnout. And yes, this pelvic health space and working in pelvic health can be the interactions can be pretty heavy. And so I think it's important for us to have the tools. This is where we've gone wrong in pelvic health, is that we're not given the tools to be able to deal with the heaviness that is presented to us on a daily basis. And this is where we as practitioners need to learn the skills to avoid us becoming burnt out. And one of the things that Taryn said is that um, if you give out all day long, then when you get home, you have nothing left to give. And this is what I don't agree with. I do not agree that we have to give out all day long. So to me, what really helped me and changed things significantly for me is to recognize that there's several things that I want to talk about. But the first idea is that giving out all day is this idea that I am giving from myself. I am giving of myself to others. And that is depleting. That is going to lead you to burnout. That is going to lead you to come home and not have anything left to give to your family and your kiddos. And that's what Taryn was talking about. It's like, well, if we give out all day long, then we just have nothing left to give at the end of the day. I'm here to tell you that there is a completely different way of being in the clinic that does not require you to give out all day long. And what that is, this concept that I want you to take away from this podcast episode with, is that when we are working with our clients, it's not about giving from ourselves. It's about allowing I like to think of it as energy. Okay. If we give out, we are emptying our cup, and then we have nothing left at the end of the day to give from or to give to anybody else. But instead of giving from ourselves, that's the energy pouring out from us. It's this idea of allowing the energy to flow through us and not from us. In order to do that, you need to be connected to that energetic source. You need to be so filled up of yourself and be grounded to the earth and be connected to the heavens so that that energy can flow through you. And when it flows through you, you're not depleted at the end of the day. I can see 6, 7 clients a day, and they can all be traumatic and all have whatever going on. And I can be just as energized at the start of my day as at the end of my day, because I'm not taking anything on and I'm not giving of myself to my clients. I'm being present with my clients and I'm allowing the energy to flow through me. And because it's flowing through me, it's not sticking in me. Okay. So this is a skill that needs to be taught in every PT school, clinic, whatever, any of us working with anybody else, understanding this idea that your energy can be a continual source of flow that never gets depleted when you're connected, when you're grounded, and when you're so full of your own being, your own essence, that there's nothing depleted at the end of the day. Now, so when we talk about burnout, the burnout is from the heaviness of the interaction with our clients and things, but there are a couple of things that we can't control. Well, let me say it this way. There's several things that can contribute to burnout that may be outside of our control, and that may be our schedule and the number of clients that we're seeing and the length of time that we have to see them in. Some situations, whether you're working in a hospital or a clinic or, whatever the environment is, where you can't control the number of clients you see and the length of the clients that you do see, that can lead to burnout. That can stress you out. And again, having these skills can help you to minimize that as best as possible. So understanding this idea of things flowing through you and not from you, and also creating as best you can a sense of therapeutic presence that allows you to be so full of your own beingness that things can't come in. And, I love Suzanne Skerlack talks about that she doesn't believe in these ideas of these artificial boundaries or creating a bubble or a shield or something to protect you from taking on other people's stuff. She feels that our skin is our natural boundary, and that when we are so full of our own beingness and we're connected, we're fully embodied in our body, that um, that's a natural boundary that we all have. Tammy Lynn Kent talks about our presence in our pelvis is our protection, and our connection to our left ovary is really a boundary for us. So when we're in our pelvic bowl, we're connected to our ovaries, that alone energetically is a boundary for us. And so there's lots of ways for us to be in our own beingness that can help us to avoid that burnout as well. So creating a therapeutic presence where you create this space that allows people to go where they need to go in order to heal, whether it's releasing emotion or sharing their story in a way that it doesn't get absorbed into you. And that requires us to do our own work, because we can get triggered by others. We can get triggered by their story. We can get triggered by how they're reacting, how they're being in the world. And those triggers are a sign of work that you need to do within you. I like the analogy of us all being Swiss cheese. We all are Swiss cheese in our beings, and those are holes that we have within us. And those holes are where we can get triggered by others or by things that are happening to us. And those triggers are a sign of work that we need to do to heal ourselves more. And when we can heal ourselves more, we fill up those holes. So we no longer have the holes that allow us to get triggered. So those holes are also those buttons that our kids push that they are like inherently born to know exactly what those buttons are. And, but our kids, it's not their problem that they push our buttons. It's our responsibility because we have those buttons. Those holes in that Swiss cheese are our responsibility to heal. Nobody else is responsible for that. You can get angry at that person that triggered you, but it's not their issue. They're just highlighting to you what needs to be healed within you so that you can fill up. And we all, our goal needs to become cheddar cheese so that we don't have those holes. We don't get activated. We don't get triggered by things happening around us. And so I just invite you to get curious and become aware and notice when you're getting triggered, when you get activated, and really get curious to find out more of what's happening, what's activating you, what is causing the trigger. And don't turn your focus to the person who is doing the triggering. Look at the situation and what that situation is about, and look inside yourself to figure out what that trigger is in you. And it's just an opportunity. All triggering is an opportunity for healing. And the more we can heal ourselves, the less triggered we will become. And that's why it's so important for us when we're working in this area to do our own work to help us to heal. If you've had birth trauma, you may get triggered by hearing others' birth trauma. It's important for you to do your own work so that you can help heal people, because we can only take people, we can only help someone to the degree that we've helped ourselves. So we can't take someone beyond where we have not gone ourselves. We can only take someone to the degree that we have gone ourselves. So if you want to help your clients more, you'll want to do more of your own work so that you can take them to a further place that you've already gone. And what you may find, my experience in the past is I've done my own healing work. Had my sessions with my counselors, and what I found was that when I healed an aspect of myself, I would go into the clinic and the next 3 patients that laid on my table had that same exact thing. And then I knew a little bit better of how to help support them with that. And so all of this is to say, please, please, please do your own work. Recognize the triggers that are coming to you so that you can learn how to, that you have healing work to do, and find a way to do that work, whatever works best for you. And everything that I've talked about today in this podcast is what I teach in my birth healing intensive program. We're going to start a whole new cohort starting in January, end of January. And the registration sign up is ongoing from October through November. And I would love to, if you're like, yes, oh my gosh, yes, I need some support. I need some help in learning how to create a therapeutic presence that allows clients to be able to access what they need to access and support our clients in a more empowering way. If you need to learn how to allow the energy to flow through and not from. And there was one other piece that I forgot to mention about this, is when you're working with your clients, and if you feel the need that you have to get your client better, that it's your job, your responsibility to get someone better, that's a sign of a potential womb imprint that was created when you were in your mom's womb. And that's something else that we cover in the birth healing intensive program, is how to shift womb imprints. Womb imprints are some of the strongest imprints because it's developed when we are being developed. Our nervous system is being developed. And one of those womb imprints is, I have to save the world. And if you have that feeling inside of you, I had it myself. I felt that I needed to save everybody, that if my clients weren't getting better, then I'm failing. I'm not doing my job. And, taking that pressure off of yourself is huge for avoiding burnout. So please know that there are things going on that you may be wired in a certain way that you can shift. You can change these triggers, these activations, these imprints that cause you to be the way that you are in your sessions that could eventually lead you to burnout, you can heal all those so that you can show up more powerfully and help your clients to the greatest degree possible that they want to be helped. That's another aspect. Some people don't want to be helped. Some people, their pain is serving them and they don't want to let go of their pain. And if you take it on that that's your job and they're not totally invested in that, you're going to be beating your head up against the wall. So please recognize that all these things can be healed. And if you want a container and a support, that Birth Healing Intensive program is designed to help you to be able to do your own work, to learn how to show up more powerfully for your clients, to learn how to take them to where they need to go in order to let go of whatever they need to let go of. And it starts by you doing your own work first. So the program's designed for you to be able to do it yourself so that you can then support your clients in doing the same thing. And the program's 9 months long. You get weekly videos and we do a monthly group call. I encourage you to have a study buddy throughout the program so that you can have someone to support you in your journey, and you text or you calls, whatever you decide for your study buddy, how you want to best support each other. And then we do have a live gathering for 2 days in November to practice together what we've learned throughout the months prior. We do all this work long distance, so at a distance. And you also get 4 one-on-one sessions throughout the program, 2 with myself and 2 with another colleague. And that helps you to support yourself in making those shifts so that you can show up more powerfully for your clients and avoid burnout. And be able to have the same amount of energy as when you started your day, when you end your day. And you're not going home feeling drained and depleted and heavy, because there is a way to do this work. Burnout may be normal, but it doesn't have to be. And I just encourage you to know also that we are the creators of our life. If you are in a situation where the clinic or the hospital, wherever you're working, is not supporting you in doing this work in the way that you want to do it, know you have that capacity within you to change that. You can make the changes to create a different life for yourself. And a lot of that starts by shifting your limiting beliefs. And that's another big aspect that we do through this program, is learn how to shift limiting beliefs, I feel, in one of the easiest ways possible. And so I'd love to share all this amazing work with you. I have had so much fun with the first cohort that has come through, to hear how much that their lives and not only their clinical practice has changed, but their lives as well, and how they're able to show up with other people in their lives. It's just been absolutely incredible to see all the changes that have occurred in this program. So please, if you're interested in that, there's an application to fill out. Go to the website, check it out in our show notes, and find the link on my website. Go to the Birth Healing Intensive. It's at the top of the menu of the page, and fill out the application, and I'll reach out and we'll do a phone call together to see if you're a good fit for the program. Okay. So thank you. I hope you've gotten some tips so that you know that you can take care of yourself, that you can show up more powerfully for your clients, really focus on allowing that energy to flow through you and not from you, and see how that goes. All right. Thanks everybody for listening in, and we will see you all on the next episode. Here is to smoother births, faster recoveries, and showing up more powerfully for our clients without feeling drained at the end of the day. Much love to you all. Take care. Bye.
Today's podcast was brought to you by the Institute for Birth Healing. To discover more, visit instituteforbirthhealing.com. To claim $50 off of any online course, use coupon code PODCAST50 at checkout. Till next time, I'm Lynn Schulte, founder of the Institute for Birth Healing.